your name and pronouns and where you're calling in from, what program you might be a part of, or what town or city you're in, and possibly state. Sometimes we have folks from outside of Maine. I see Lori here. So go ahead and introduce yourselves in the chat. That would be excellent. We will have time in a bit once we go through some updates for everyone to introduce themselves on camera as well, which is a really special part of the meeting. And even if it's just saying your name and what program you're a part of, that's fantastic to be able to see folks. But if you have more to add, like we see on the agenda here, if there's something legislatively you'd like to update us on, I see Katie's here from Maine Women's Lobby and the Paid Leave Coalition. So looking forward to everyone hearing Katie's update on paid leave. But if you have anything else you'd like to share about what's going on in your part of the world, if you have any questions that you want to pose to the group, then this is a great time for that. So let's go ahead and get started. And my name is Kara Kaikini. I am the Executive Director of the Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition, and this is always a favorite part of the month and the year is to have these Connecting the Dots meetings where I can see everyone and hear how everyone's doing. So thanks for being here. We have some exciting updates on work that we've been doing. I'm going to just kind of scroll through this document that I try to keep updated as best I can and give a few updates from some of our committees and some of the work that we're doing. Also know, and Petrichor, I'm not sure if you put the link to this document in the chat box already. I'm not monitoring the chat box right now, but so everyone can have access to this document. You should be able to open it, and you should also be able to edit it. If for any reason you're not able to do that, give a shout so I know that I need to change something here. But you're welcome to add information to this document too. It's something that we can all share and have access to. So we have these committees, and these committees can do so much more when we have more people working on them. So if at any point you have a question about a committee or a question about volunteering in general, please let me know. I'm happy to meet with you separately and talk you through what that looks like. So know that there are lots of opportunities for you to be more involved if you're interested. And the links to express your interest are in this document too. We are also always appreciative of any donations that come through. And there's, every year it seems like there are asks to donate to different nonprofits. And we hope that you think about, okay, who are my top 3 favorite nonprofits in the state of Maine in particular? And if Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition could be one of those, that would be amazing to receive regular donations. That would be fantastic. And there are some really great, easy ways to donate some money and to raise some money by asking your people as well. So that information is there too. I'm going to zoom in a little bit to make things a little easier to read here. We have a couple of continuing education resources listed here. There are a lot more. If you know of any continuing education opportunities, conferences, or webinars or anything like that, please send those our way, and we'll do our best to keep this updated, but also to update through our newsletters. We didn't have much updating here, but stay tuned and we'll be sure to share out in the newsletter. We also, Petrichor, if you have a moment, if you would like to share this amazing resource, I noticed we had a lot of people open this email that was sent out recently, which is announcing this incredible resource. So Petrichor, I'll let you share a little bit more.
Hi, everyone. It's so nice to see everyone today. I'm Petrichor Neelan Campbell. My pronouns are they, them, and I'm the president and DEIJB committee chair at MSBC. We are so excited. We've been working almost this whole year on this LGBTQIA 2S+ resource for professionals. So I'm really excited to put this out to everyone. So the resource has relationship building and intake form guidance, as well as information sheets about common issues that may arise in the LGBTQ+ community. So think binding while chest feeding or trans women in lactation, all those kinds of things. And relationship building, it really goes into questions that you could ask in addition to what's on your intake form, and also takes into consideration that a lot of you might use like My Chart or another EHR, and how you can kind of either work around that or add to it. So it's really exciting. It was designed to be used by any type of professional working with these families. So family visitors, IBCLCs, CLCs, WIC peer counselors, physicians, midwives, nurses. So it's really for everybody. And our goal was to just create better care for the LGBTQ community. And Kara put the link in the chat to download it. It does require an email, but it's so that we can track how many downloads we have. And we'd love for you to download it and use it and give us any feedback, or if you have questions, we're more than happy to answer those as well.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you, Petrichor, for leading that work. And we might have some folks on the call who are part of that as well. So I'm really excited to be able to share that out. And if you have used this, if you've downloaded it, if you have feedback to share in the chat or with the group when you introduce yourself, we'd love to hear that too. Awesome. So some regular parent resources for you that continue to be in this document here. We also want to remind you that Zip Milk is live in Maine, and this is really only going to be a great resource for parents if we have providers creating their own listings. So the listings can be if you are an IBCLC, if you are a CLC or a lactation support provider in another way, if you offer a support group, if you are a WIC consultant, a WIC peer counselor, a WIC coordinator, I think is how they have it listed as a WIC coordinator, breastfeeding coordinator. So if you offer any of that support, if you consider yourself someone who provides lactation support, please add yourself. You can add your organization, you can add individuals. We really want to see this populated as much as possible so we can consider this a true resource for parents. So definitely check that out. I know we'll be hearing an update on paid leave from Katie in a bit, so I'm going to skip through that, but know that this document has resources from the Maine Family Leave website and also from the Department of Labor website. Rulemaking is happening now. There's still rules that are being considered that are really important to be receiving people's feedback and input on, so stay tuned on that. Speaking of paid leave, there's also a survey of postpartum leave experiences that is being done through the Rue Institute. It's called Maine Assessment of Parental Leave Experiences. And if you scan that QR code, or also stay tuned, we'll be sending the link in our newsletter as well. I know some of you might be trying to scan this. I don't know, so I'm going slow. But their website is also bit.ly/maple-survey if you want to check that out there. Eligible participants in the survey receive a $15 gift card. So definitely worth checking out. And I don't know if we have anyone here from the Maine Doula Coalition to give an update. I know Sarah said that she wasn't able to make it today, but that would be great to hear later if you are a part of that. There will be a legislative steering committee meeting for the consideration of Medicaid reimbursement for doula care. That's happening later today. So there will be more of an update probably at that point. We're trying to stay up to date on that and letting you know if there are any calls to action there. As far as donor milk, milk banks are always in need of more donations. If anyone has any other updates on any new depots or dispensaries in Maine, or if you're part of a process of getting one set up, please share that. That's what these meetings are all about. It is still considered National Breastfeeding Month right now. I don't have the name right there though, but it is essentially Latina Breastfeeding Week. There's a Spanish name for that. And maybe Robbie can share that if you have that off the top of your head, or if anyone has the link to that week. I'm sorry, I don't have that handy in this document. But we want to recognize that this is a week to recognize the Latinx community and the challenges and the support that they have and experience when it comes to human milk feeding. We're really excited to share more about our workplace support. So you may know that we had launched a returning to work resources for the pumping and breast and chest feeding family or parent back in the spring. And hot off the press, though not quite final, Ashley is here. Thank you, Ashley from Let's Go. just sent me the latest version of this document that will be shared far and wide very, very soon. So know that there are a few minor edits that still need to happen, but this is a resource for workplaces to support their lactating employees. Okay. And our table of contents includes laws to support lactating employees. I'm gonna actually show you the pages, but there's our table of contents. Here is a lot of information because there's a lot of information when it comes to laws. And we hope that employers will take the time to familiarize themselves with Maine's law, with the Pump for Nursing Mothers Act and the Pregnant Workers Fairness Act. There's unfortunately some nuance with these laws as well. So we want to be able to try to clear some of that up through these toolkits and also be resources for people who have those questions. But there's some really good information here that has been thoroughly reviewed by workplace law attorneys. But of course, if you see anything that doesn't make sense to you, then obviously let us know and we can do what we can. But this is a 2-page document around understanding the law. Okay, so I'm just going to keep scrolling here so we have time. We also spent a lot of time on this sample workplace lactation friendly policy. And in yellow here is where people can download this or copy and paste it and enter their workplace name. And this policy includes reasonable and flexible break times, private location to express human milk, and also includes information about having a supportive work environment, which means no discrimination or harassment, please. And it also has information about how to communicate and educate and implement this. So how to let your staff know that this is what is in place and why it's important, which is what's to come in our toolkit as well. So this is something we've spent a lot of time on too. We reviewed resources from around the country, sample policies from around the country, and this is what we've landed on, our workplace support group, which is amazing. It includes Ashley, Deb is on here. I'm not sure everyone who is actually here in the meeting right now. I can't see everyone. I see Caitlin Wright. We've had a lot of really fantastic volunteers be a part of this, so really proud of this. So we also have reasons to support lactating employees. Mostly, legal compliance is pretty important. That's a pretty strong reason. We also want to encourage employee well-being, workplace well-being, and it can really help with workplace image too, knowing that these workplaces are supporting lactating employees. We have a handout on creating a lactation-friendly workplace. So how to go about this, what to have, what to do. You'll all have access to this very soon. We also have a sample email announcement. Again, this is something that people can just copy and paste into an email to let their workplaces know that this is what is in place. And we have supportive communication tips. So we've all heard conversations that have happened in workplaces where someone has been told by their employer that they can just pump in the bathroom or they can just feed their baby formula or whatever. So we put some time into, instead of saying this, try saying something like this is what real support looks like. And we have some quotes from families from parents as well, saying what has worked well for them. And then we're also really excited to roll out. Our web page will be done momentarily as well, where people can go to our website and they can actually currently, I will send you the link, but our website will have this information about our recognition program soon. It talks about what is required in order for them to be recognized and what their benefits will be. So we'll be sending them an electronic certificate recognizing that they have done this work, a decal that looks like this here, lactation-friendly workplace. And we'll also send them some different social media tools they can use to promote this new recognition. So this is something that we're technically piloting right now, where we've built this, we've put a lot of time and thought into this as well. But we want to invite as many workplaces as possible to apply and let us know what their experience was in the application process so we know what we might need to tweak. And so think about workplaces you know who may already be doing all these things that we just talked about, or maybe they're really close, but they haven't quite gotten over the hump with a policy or something like that. Then let me know, let us know, and we'll support them with that. Or maybe just having this toolkit alone will be all that they need. And then we have this poster, "We support lactating employees." It says, "We value the well-being of all employees. We're proud of our policy that supports a lactation-friendly workplace. We all play a role in creating a supportive work environment." And it speaks about what is included in the policy, who to contact. And then we have these privacy please posters that are part of the employee toolkit as well. So really excited to share that. We'll be sending that out. It'll be on our website, ready to download in hope, by next week, if not sooner, as well as the workplace recognition program. And I can actually show you what that website looks like right now, but it will be finalized soon. And can send you the link to the application that you can share as well. So
Yeah, and Kara, there was a question about printing, whether these are going to be available for print. And currently, the both access to all these tools will be available for free for anybody. They'll be on the Let's Go website and the Maine State Breastfeeding Coalition website, as Kara was just showing. I have heard that a lot of HEAL coordinators might be putting it in their budget to print. I'm not trying to be presumptuous here, but I've talked to a couple where, so I think it's really, so I'll say for Maine Health and at Let's Go, we don't have plans to print any currently. I believe, Kara, you all might be, I don't want to put words in your mouth. And then I feel like if local public health partners, I'm specifically thinking some of our NPN HEAL coordinators that might be out there doing some of this work. If you had funding in your budget, to print them would be a great use of funds.
Yeah, absolutely. We will
Yeah.
have some printed, mostly to bring to conferences and events and things like that, so that we can have something for people to look at and take home with them. But we aren't going to be printing hundreds and hundreds of them. What we are also putting our funds toward is translating, or designing rather, the employee toolkit in 4 other languages, thanks to the City of Portland CHOWs, community health workers, have translated into, let's see if I remember, Arabic, French, Portuguese, and Spanish, I believe. And those will be designed in the next couple of weeks and will be available to share out as well. So that was something that we decided we really wanted to make available too. So I want to make sure we have time for everyone to share, and I'm going to pass it on to Petrichor at this point to do this spotlight, volunteer spotlight.
Thanks, Kara. So I would love to do a volunteer spotlight today because MSBC would not be able to function without all of our volunteers that we have. So MSBC would like to thank MJ Sedlock for all the work she has put into MSBC. MJ currently serves on the Communications Committee and the DEI JB Committee. Over the past several months, MJ has worked to improve the accessibility and functionality of our website. It is an ongoing project that she is continuing to work on with the help of our board member, Kim. In addition, MJ also helped to shape the information in the LGBTQIA2S+ resource. She's the one who made it look so nice for us and is the one who set up the website landing page. So thank you, MJ, for all the work you have done and continue to do for our organization. We wouldn't be able to do what we do without volunteers like you.
Absolutely. I echo all of that. I'm not sure MJ is here today. MJ
No,
is
she's
also
not.
a professor at University of Maine, Orono. So I imagine she is busy at the moment, and a mom of a toddler at this point. So yes, thank you. We really do appreciate and count on our volunteers. Awesome. And board members as well. So know that we're always open to bringing on new board members, and we could use 2 or 3 more folks to fill some roles. In particular, we do have a vacant vice president role if anyone is looking for a leadership position in this work. So definitely let me or Petrichor know if you have any questions about that. Take a look at the expectations, and there's a link to express your interest in that as well. And then we have our next webinars. We don't have them up on our website yet, but they will be soon. Policymaking in Maine, how does it work? Brooke Barron, who used to be on our board and has been a policy analyst in the past, she is going to share a little bit about what the advocacy process looks like. What does policymaking look like in Maine for folks who are wondering more about that, and how it relates to the work that we do, because it really, really does relate to the work that we do. And then December, we have cannabis, pregnancy, and lactation. Brianna Bryant, I'm not sure if she's here today, but she will be presenting on that really important topic too. And then our next Connecting the Dots meeting is November 7th, and we'll be posting the 2025 dates before you know it. Okay, so there's a lot of information. I did the best I could and as fast as I could. Thank you all so much for being there, and I look forward to looking through the chat box too. What we'll do now is go through, and I'm going to call on everyone. Usually I start from the top. Today I'm going to start from the bottom, which happens to be still an A name in my chat box. Ariana is on the bottom of my of my participant list. I see we have 38 of us here today, so I think we'll just do the best we can to cruise on through. And if you don't have much to share, it's fine. Just say your name and where you're from. And this is also a really great part of the meeting. If you can, have your camera on, so we really can feel like we are actually all together in one space. Let's see. I don't see Ariana's name there anymore, but Stephanie.
Sarah, before we start that, I just wanted to make sure we get to this question that's in the chat that was about the workplace toolkit. Diana asked, can you ask expectant mothers if they are planning to breastfeed?
Asking them where? Sorry, which resource are we talking about?
The workplace toolkit, when you were talking about that, and the launch of the workplace recognition toolkit, she had asked, can you ask expectant mothers if they are planning to breastfeed? And Robbie actually said, can we discuss this? I have a suggestion. So I don't know if Robbie wanted to hop on.
Or Diana, if you want to clarify your question too, I saw you were unmuted.
Oh, I think she did a great job, or they did a great job with that, reframing my question. But I am an employer as well as a worker, and I do have somebody, I don't think was expecting, and I was thinking, I don't know whether she's breastfed before, and I don't know whether that's, I want to, anyway, I just wondered how to approach that.
That's a really great question. And Robin, what is your suggestion?
Oh, no, I understand it's probably like a HIPAA question of confidentiality. So that's what I think the question is. Is it legal for an employer to ask about something as personal as breastfeeding? So maybe somebody could just present it like, here, employees, here are all the resources we have, and keep it general.
Yeah, that's a good question. I haven't heard that it is something you can't ask, but I can understand why you would be asking that. Does anyone have any other insight on that? If you are allowed to ask your employee how they plan to feed their baby?
So my thought, I was sort of on the same page. I am not, well, my thought in terms of what Robin was saying is, I think it's, having been working on these tools with the group, it's sort of presenting like this is best practice for workplaces. There's a bunch of things that employers can do to be supportive for their employees, whether it's like, walking meetings, whether it's physical activity related, or, access to clean water, whatever the things are. This is just one of those things. So I think it's like, not saying, are you specifically, I don't know the legality there, but I feel like you frame it like, as a business or as a workplace or as an organization, we believe in supporting all of our employees in a variety of ways. In one way, specifically, I just want to make sure folks know about X, you know, and then you present it as a fact versus like singling somebody out.
Mhm.
Is a comment I would add into that conversation.
We are very small and we are very friendly, but I wouldn't want to ask about a question that would not be appropriate, you know? Thank you for that guidance.
That's great. I also recognize, Louisa, I think you had mentioned that you could join today, but might not be able to stay for very long. Are you there? And would you like to give your update?
Yeah, that would be great. Thank you. So I'm here. I'm an assistant professor at Northeastern University, based at the Rue Institute in Portland. With some colleagues, we're running a study looking at, as Kara mentioned earlier, looking at kind of the effects. Well, we will be looking at the effects of Maine's new paid leave law on maternal and child health. So right now, we're just running a pilot study, collecting some kind of preliminary data about employment during pregnancy, leave practices, and then some kind of outcomes after pregnancy, one of which, of course, is breastfeeding. So I shared the link in the chat. Kara showed the poster, which is in the meeting agenda, and I'll also link the documents in the chat. But just wanted to invite you all to share with your network, share on your social media. We will be running this pilot study for the foreseeable future, and have applied for money to turn this into a bigger study that we can actually use to study the effects of the new law when it's put into place. If you have any questions, I'll also leave my email in the chat for any of those. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Louisa. And thank you for doing that. It's so great to know that someone is asking what experiences are truly like to inform policy development. And okay, so I'm rethinking the plan to go through each person. And what I'm thinking, I know that we want to hear from Katie. And I think what I'll do is have Katie go next. And then if you have something that you want to share, if you can find the raise hand button in Zoom, or type in the chat that you have something you want to share. Then we'll kind of go from person to person that way. And if it's quiet and no one wants to share, then I'll start calling on people. Does that sound okay? So Katie, if you are ready to go up next, let's do that.
Yeah, thank you so much, Kira. So my name is Katie Reed. I use she, her pronouns. I work at the Maine Women's Lobby, and I convene the Maine Paid Leave Coalition, which MSBC is a part of. And you all have been very strong advocates for paid family medical leave throughout the last few years that we've really ramped up our advocacy and passed paid leave in 2023. So so where we are now in that process, so in July of 2023, we passed through the legislature a paid family medical leave program that went into effect essentially, or it became law in October of 2023. And then in that time, that gave the Department of Labor the ability to start building out their program, like hiring a program manager, or a director and a deputy director, and then additional staff to try to figure out how to build a brand new program for our state. And then in May, you may have seen some news articles come out because the Maine Department of Labor released their rules, their proposed rules for that program. And so that was the next step. So we have the statute, and now we're working on sort of the day-to-day, how the program is going to function through the rulemaking process. And so those initial rules were completed on July 8th, so the summer. And then in that time, the Maine Department of Labor reviewed over 1,000 comments from nearly 300 different commentors, and were able to take some of the feedback initially into consideration and created some updates to those proposed rules. But the updates that they created are pretty significant. And so they opened it back up for another comment period. So we have another opportunity now to continue to advocate for this program to make sure that it is accessible to the folks who are going to need it, and that it really is implemented in the way that we that we hope that it will be, that we know the most people can really get the benefit, because we can have this wonderful program, but if no one can access it and actually take those benefits, then it's really not helping the folks that we know need it. So, the next rulemaking deadline for comments is September 30th at 5 p.m. And if there is a public hearing as well, or a way that people can submit their comments in person, and that is in Augusta on September 17th at 9 a.m. And so I can make sure Kara has all of those like specific details so you guys have it, which would include some of our some of those things, the biggest changes and things that might impact workers. Because our focus as a coalition, we know it's supportive for business and we want a business-friendly paid leave program, but we also want one that workers can actually access the leave. And so some of the big updates that the department put into these updated rules are some changes around what was formerly listed as affinity relationships in the first round. So they updated that language to make it aligned more closely with the statute, which talks about family and loved ones who are like family, somebody who has a bond like family. So it took out that language around affinity relationships and kind of broadened it, and then gave some clear guidelines for folks. So if you were taking leave for someone who's like family, but you may not have like legal documentation to that, or things that you might have and I'm going to put it in quotes, like a traditional sense. This just makes it more open for folks. It makes it clearer for folks to be able to say, yeah, I live with this person, or I'm their emergency contact, and it gives some clear guidance for people, which is really helpful. There were also some pretty big changes to undue hardship. So in our state, in the statute, there is language that businesses can claim undue hardship to prevent somebody from taking paid family medical leave. And so there were some pretty significant changes to that in the updates, some of which may hinder folks from being able to access leave. And then some that were positive as well. So in the appeal process, both employers and employees can appeal either a finding or a denial of undue hardship. And then there were some updates as well to substitute plans. So some companies can opt out of the program if they offer a substantially equivalent plan. And so, you know, we want to make sure that those substantially equivalent plans really are substantially equivalent and offer the same benefit to workers. So no matter where you work in our state, you can access a similar program and make sure you can get at least 12 weeks of leave. Yeah, so those are some of the large updates that we saw. We'll be helping and providing more guidance if you're interested in providing comments. The more comments that we can make sure that people put through, the better the program is. No matter what your comments are, this is a program that's going to affect hundreds of thousands of Mainers. And so we want to make sure that you are invested in that and are able to speak up and shape the program for the people that you serve and for yourself. So I'm happy to answer any questions. I know that was a lot, but I hope that was really helpful.
I see Robin has a question.
Yeah, can you put a link to that survey in the chat box?
To the Maple survey?
No, to the survey for comments about workplace leave, paid family leave. I mean, if people can't get to Augusta, how can they?
Yeah.
Who can they write to?
We will have a full, so previously, if you participated in the comments before, there was a guide that helped, you know, you could find pieces of like, I'm really invested in this part of it, like the benefit amount or things like that. So we'll provide some more guidance on that. For leave in particular, I'm going to put in the the Maine Department of Labor rulemaking link, and that goes directly to, you can look at the updated rules there, and you can submit them online. So they have an online form for you. So I will put that in the chat. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Katie. Thanks for that question, Robin. And so the areas that we might want people to give public comment on this time should be related to those specific rules in particular, Katie? Like, like if people had an experience where their employer denied them leave because of undue hardship, or if they had less than 12 weeks of leave, because I know that was part of the other plan, was that right now it says if another plan has at least 10 weeks of leave, that's enough. And that's not what we want to see, right? That's not what the law, that's not what the statute said. It's a 12 weeks. So that could be one area where people give comment on.
Yeah.
Are there other
Yeah.
areas or other experiences that we might want to hear from?
Yeah, I think if folks have, if you have personal experiences of taking leave, of being unable to take leave because we don't currently have a paid leave plan and all you had access to was unpaid leave, or you worked for the many employers that actually aren't covered by the federal Unpaid Family Medical Leave Act or the state's Unpaid Family Medical Leave Act, you know, we want to be able to hear how some of those things hindered you from taking leave. And so if you think you know folks or have folks that would not be able to access this program because an employer might say, oh, we don't have enough employees, and so it's always going to be a hardship. So you could never take time off for a surgery, the birth of a child, to care for a sick or a family member, you know, those are things that we do want to make sure that folks know, because we want to highlight access to this program. It's only going to be as good as it is if people can actually take it. And so, yes, if you have those personal experiences or know folks who do that are interested in getting involved in this type of process, please encourage them to consider putting comments in.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Katie, for the update and for the work you're doing every day to move this process through. Who's next? Who has something they'd like to share? Robin, I see your hand up.
Okay, I just wanted to give a shout out. I didn't see anybody on the chat. In WIC, there's over 10,000 WIC offices in the nation, and the USDA gives these awards to ones that have the most progress in breastfeeding support. And the Ellsworth WIC, woohoo, won an award, a gold award for their improved breastfeeding support. So I had the article here. So in so Maine WIC increased its fully breastfeeding rate from 17.6% in 2022 to 23.74% in 2023. So we're having WIC is hosting a baby fair Saturday. So I'm going to take pictures of them and put them on the blog for the MSBC website. But I just think that it's great that a local clinic has earned this award for breastfeeding moms. And on another note, I'm always looking for people who would, women, healthy lactating women who can donate. And there's a milk depot in Ellsworth. So I had the bright idea that the MOFGA Fair would be a great place to find healthy breastfeeding women. So next year, I think that the Milk Bank will have an exhibit at the MOFGA Fair. But that's my news. That's it.
MOFGA Fair as in the Common Ground Fair, yes?
Oh, sorry, MOFGA, Maine Organic Farmers and Gardeners Association Common Ground Fair, 3rd week of September, coming up.
Yeah, that's great. I don't know if maybe there's someone here who is planning on having a table there already. Who was I talking to that? I don't know, it might be the Maine Doula Coalition. I'm trying to remember, but excellent. Thanks. And Robin, would you like to introduce yourself a little bit further? I
Sorry.
guess you're
My name is Robin Snyder Drummond. I am an IBC LC and I'm based in Ellsworth. And I do office visits at Anchored Women's Health. That's the private practice of Kristen Hayward. And she and I have opened a milk depot in Ellsworth. And I do visits, and Maine Care covers all the visits, and we take a lot of insurance.
Excellent. Thanks, Robin. All right, who would like to go next? Robbie, I'm looking at you. Yes, great. I was hoping you would go next. Go ahead. Oh, we can't hear you. I saw your mic button change, but I'm not hearing you. Okay. Let us know. I know that might take a minute. So does someone else have something you'd like to share? And keep testing it, Robbie, and we'll let you know if we hear you. But
Does it work?
yeah, yes, but it's quiet.
Have someone else go.
Oh, actually, go ahead. I think we'll try it.
Okay, I'm trying.
There,
Is that
yes.
loud enough if I
That's great.
speak loudly?
Yes.
I am now the breastfeeding and outreach coordinator for the Maine State WIC program. So I was formerly in maternal and child health. And so on August 12th, I started full-time with WIC. So I'm happy to be back in WIC because that is kind of my foundation. Many of you know I moved from California and was with the California Breastfeeding Coalition. So now I'm with the WIC program here and I'm very happy to be here. So.
Well, congratulations, Robbie. I'm really happy that you're in that role as well. That's great news. Do we have other folks from WIC here while we're on a WIC roll who would like to introduce and share what's going on in your area?
I'm Molly. I'm a registered dietitian and the new breastfeeding coordinator for the Bangor WIC office.
Hi, Molly.
So I'm very new, still less than a month in, 3 weeks, and I've been with WIC for almost 5 years. But this role is new and I'm happy to be here with all of you.
Awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome. All right, Ariana? Oh, also can't hear you. No. Still can't hear you, but keep trying. And while you're trying, we might move to someone else. Who would like to go next? I will start calling on people. Oh, Renee, hi. I'm not always seeing everyone, so yeah, feel free to just speak if I don't see you. Go ahead, Renee.
Okay. Hi, my name is Renee Lajeunesse. I work for Maine Families of Greater Portland, covering Portland, South Portland, Westbrook, and Cape Elizabeth. And this is my first time attending this meeting.
Hey, welcome.
Thanks.
Great to see you.
I think I got it.
Okay, yes, hi.
Hi, I am Ariana. I'm the Maine General WIC Augusta area breastfeeding peer counselor. I've been with WIC for over a year now, and it's a fantastic role. I'm very blessed to be in it, but we just finished our month of celebrating our moms, and we bridged the gap by sending out individual packages to each one of our prenatal or postnatal breastfeeding moms individually, education and some goodie stuff, and the stickers that I designed for Maine WIC. And again, if anybody wants any of those stickers, we finally got them in vinyl. Just shoot me a message and I'd be more than happy to mail you a package.
That's exciting. So is it a Maine WIC in general, like Maine in general WIC sticker?
Yeah, it's there's 4 different ones that I designed. There's one is general, first latch. The second, there's another one that's tandem feeding. I have a pumping one, and then also a toddler feeding kind of theme, just to celebrate all of the different expression or lactating parents that we do help and you know, are in our community.
Excellent. Thanks. That sounds great. And if you want to share who you had those printed through or any vendors you use, always open to that because we're about to order a bunch of things.
Main
So,
general.
okay, yeah, there you go. That works for you. Awesome. Thanks, Ariana.
And any and all out to people.
Okay. Great. Who else would like to go next?
I'll excuse me. My name is Paige Galloway. I'm also with Maine Families of Greater Portland. And this is my first meeting as well. And I'll just tack on to Renee's introduction. I've been in my role for about 2 years, and we currently do not have any CLCs on staff. And Renee just started pursuing that credential. And we have a second person who's exploring that as well. So our hope will be that next year we will have 2 folks on staff who both have kind of unique roles and are available to consult with other families, so that that support is for all of our enrolled families as opposed to just within a caseload of somebody who has that certification.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, I look forward to talking with you more about that. And if there's any way that we can help support that process, we do still have our equity and lactation support fund to help support folks in receiving education that will help them meet their lactation education goals. And it's geared toward folks who are in underserved and marginalized communities. So keep that in mind for anyone around the state and who you think that could help. I see Sarah said she had to go. And some other updates that were, Shannon Parker had shared earlier about being grateful for the resources for her clients who are, she's a pediatric sleep consultant. That's great. I'm sorry we missed her introduction.
I have one more thing I forgot to mention.
Yeah.
I signed up for a webinar tomorrow that's through Women Loving Women Back to Work Lactation and Pumping class. If anyone wants the information, I can throw that into the chat as well.
That'd be great. Thank you.
Of course.
Let's see here. Who am I going to call on? Deb, do you have any updates? Would you like to introduce yourself?
Yeah, I don't have any updates. I'm Deb. I work over at Bangor Public Health doing the healthy eating, active living work. And yeah, no updates that I can think of. Glad to be here.
And a public thank you, Deb, for all your work on helping us build the recognition program and on the toolkits. Awesome. And thank you to Emily Eastman, who has recently been helping with Healthy Us scorecard updates that will be something we'll be promoting as well as a way for workplaces to improve all of their areas of workplace wellness. Emily, would you like to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Emily Eastman. I work at Healthy Oxford Hills in Norway. I do the healthy eating, active living work as a program coordinator. The only update I have is that we have our new support group for moms starting up next week. It's called Bumps and Babies. We've changed the location and a little bit of the messaging around it, so we're hopeful that this time it'll be a little bit more successful.
Okay. Good luck. Yeah, keep us posted. That's great. And list it in our support group listing if it's not already there. I think I've shared with in emails and in previous meetings about our support group listing. That is an Excel spreadsheet right now. And I think it's getting a slight tweak. The look is getting a slight tweak by our web designer. So we'll see if it's trying to make it as user-friendly as possible, but also know that any support groups like that can also be listed on ZipMilk. So think about that as an option too. All right. Cynthia. Cindy.
Kara, excuse me, how do we access the support group listing?
I can find that. Well,
Okay.
it should be in either the last newsletter that was sent out or the one before that, if you have quick access to that. If anyone else happens to have quick access to that, feel free to drop that in the chat box. It will be on our website very soon.
Okay.
Yes.
Perfect.
Along with ZipMilk.
Okay. My name is Cynthia Grass, and I'm the Public Health Nursing Supervisor for the CDC in Penobscot and Piscataquis counties. We have a couple of support groups going on right now. One is in Millinocket, and we've partnered with Maine Families to do that one. That's called the Mom Connection. And the other one is over in Dover Foxcroft, and that's called Baby and Me. And we're partnering with Jessica Thibodeau over the IBCLC at Mayo Hospital. And 2 weekends ago, we did the first Piscataquis Parenting Expo over in Dover Foxcroft, and that went very well. And partnering with Bangor Public Health and Maine Families and WIC to do the second Penobscot Parenting Expo. I believe it's on December 6th. So we're super excited about that. And we have 2 new nurses in our district. So we have a full team now, and they're just getting to the end of their CLC. So they've been with us just a couple of months, and they've almost completed theirs. So we'll have the entire team CLC certified, which is our goal. And pretty much everyone, with the exception of people that have just started, are all CLC certified across the state. So we're super excited about that.
That's fantastic. Congrats. That's
Yeah,
really good.
thank you.
news. Thanks for sharing all that. And if there's anything that we can share through, anything that's specifically local that we want families to hear about, we often will share through social media. If it's something that is really applicable more statewide or for professionals in particular, that is something we tend to share through our newsletters. So definitely send this information to us if you want it to be spread further. And Diana, I see your question about getting a list of who's attending the calls with workplace and contact info. If people have added their workplace and contact info in the chat, then we are thank you, Petricor, adding that to our New Knowledge Worth Having document. And that link we can put in the chat box again too, so you can see that. Contact info is not always listed though, so you might be able to find that. Or if there's anyone in particular, thank you, Cynthia and Robin, for adding your contact info there. Then you can try to grab that from the chat box. We also will be doing a better job of having our minutes up on our website and more and updated for you. That's not something that I've been keeping up with as well as I could be. So yeah, that way you can have access to who's attended meetings in the past as well. Great. A couple more minutes, a couple more introductions. I see Amanda. Great. I was just going to call on you.
I can give an update. So Amanda Hutchins from Portland Public Health, the Prevention Program Manager. And other than our team helping with the translations for the toolkits, I also wanted to share that one of our HEAL, so Healthy Eating Active Living, team members, she was selected for accessing the Milky Way. She was awarded one of those scholarships through, is it the Healthy Children Project, I believe is who that's from. So it's exciting because she'll be our first ever CLC on the HEAL team outside of our maternal child health program. So excited about that.
Yeah, congrats. That's awesome. Thanks for sharing that.
Yeah, of course.
Who else? Let's see. I'm going to call on Renee. I see your camera on. Thank you for having your camera on. And anything you'd like to say or just introduce yourself?
Yep, sure. I'm Renee Bragdon. I work for Aroostook County Action Program, and I'm the HEAL coordinator here. And there's a few things that I'm kind of excited about. Within our work plan, we've created a lending library, which includes physical activity and nutrition resources that community members can lend, or we would lend, and they can kind of use, and so for free. And so within that lending library, we have purchased a lactation tent. And so any community events that are being held, they're welcome to, we have like a QR code, and they're welcome to register for that. And then we work out plans to get it delivered or the pickup or whatever arrangements need to be made. And so that's kind of exciting to have at community events where moms or parents who are feeding their babies need a private space. So I thought that was kind of an innovative strategy to kind of pull into our work plan. And so I'm excited about that one. And also we have coming up a community-wide baby shower to celebrate moms And so I'm working a little bit with WIC to bring those on. And now Aroostook County is quite spacious, if you know, or have been here. You can travel a couple hours north and a couple hours south and still not cover the entire county. So what we've done is we've been able to, this will be our third one. So last year we held one centrally. Last year was in the south, and this year and within the next 2 weeks, we'll be having a community-wide baby shower up in Fort Kent, which is about an hour, just more than an hour away from where I'm located centrally in Presque Isle. So those are kind of a couple of the things that I'm excited about and ways that we're celebrating and promoting lactation.
Awesome. That's excellent.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And if you have any dates, I don't know if there's anyone else here in those areas who's on this meeting, but that's great to share those dates out.
Yes.
We're happy to share in
Yeah,
our
Connie Montpetit's on the call, and she works closely with our group too. She works at ACAP. So
and thanks Ruth and Caitlin for introducing yourselves in the chat too. And for all the HEAL coordinators who are here, I'm so glad to see you here. And I was speaking with Dawn Littlefield Gordon this morning, specifically about paid leave and how in the rulemaking process, how public comment is going to be really important. And she said that she would be happy, this is good for you to know, Katie, as well, to put that information out to the HEAL network so that you as coordinators can then be putting that out to your networks. And you can also be giving public comment yourself too. So know that that is something that Dawn would like to encourage is that kind of connection with your networks to share their experiences through that public comment period. And so Katie, did you say there's something else you'll be sending me in addition to what you've sent in coalition meeting notes?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the previous round, we had a comment guide for folks who are really aligned on the coalition values and just needed some guidance because they're pretty overwhelming. It's a rather large it's a big program and has a lot of rules. So being able to break down some of those highlights that could either limit access or improve access, because we also want to remind the department and provide comments on things we want to see remain in the rules in these updates and things that we're glad that they changed. So it's good to do both, just like positive and critical feedback is always important. So yes, there will be a comment guide, and then there will be some guidance on if you're interested in sort of sharing your story. We are still, the Maine Paid Leave Coalition is still accepting folks to share their story. Just because we passed paid leave doesn't mean we can't remind folks why we passed paid leave and why we need it. So yes, I'll share all those resources with you, Kira.
Thank you. All right. Well, thank you all so much for being here today and being a part of this work and continuing your education and connections with other people so that families can receive the best support they can in the state of Maine. And stay tuned. We'll be emailing lots of really great resources out your way. Have a great rest of your day.